Let's take a look at how the website helps you cover each part of the lesson efficiently. Preview. Before class, students can learn in advance some key vocabulary, which will help the class run more efficiently. In particular, speaking practice becomes smoother, since students won't stumble over unfamiliar words. Students have free access to all audio tracks in their section of the website. And if both your institution and you as a teacher permit the use of Japanese translations, you can give them the password needed to access that part of the student website. Toolbox. In each lesson, we introduce a few key questions and answers using a visual aid called a toolbox. It's best to introduce the content of the toolbox as quickly as possible, so as to leave as much time as possible for students' speaking practice.
To help you quickly present the toolbox content to the class, you will find toolbox videos on the teacher's website. These short videos contain audio of the key questions and responses, as well as Japanese translations as subtitles. Here is one example.
Do you have a part-time job? Yes, I work at a cram school as a tutor. No, but I'd like to work at a cram school. Have you ever had a part-time job? Yes, I used to work at a cram school as a tutor.
You can project them onto a screen in the classroom, saving explanation time, so that the class can promptly move on to speaking practice.
In the expressions section, students do some writing to make sure they have understood the core content. They will use this to express themselves during the upcoming class activities. There are basically 3 ways to cover this: free writing, dictation, or translation. If you choose to use either the dictation or the translation styles, which are fast, you'll find example sentences with romaji for teachers to read aloud. Pair practice. The pair practice activity is designed to have students spend a few active minutes learning to pass the bowl of conversation back and forth. It is completely scaffolded for repetitive practice, in the same way as people learning to play the piano would practice scales. In some lessons, there is a one more question section, which introduces a new structure, so the Japanese translation is provided on the website, in addition to audio tracks. In some lessons, there is a section entitled Variations. The point here is for students to practice creating 2 forms of the basic questions, open and closed. On the website, you will find some examples of possible answers for this exercise in bold text. Interview. The interview activity is a fun step where students have a chance to put what they've learnt so far into practice and to stretch their legs a little. Since this is a pen and textbook classroom activity, there is no specific content on the website for this. Listening. Each lesson has a simple listening exercise, which aims to show students that they can now understand a natural conversation. It also provides them with some inspiration for the personalized dialogue that they will write next. You will find the answers to the listening in 2 places on the teacher website. In the translation section, the missing words are shown alongside the translation of the dialogue, which may reassure lower level students that they have indeed understood the meaning of the dialogue. The answers to the listening exercise are also found in the Answers section. As well as the missing words, we also show where examples of the golden rules and cultural strategies can be found in the dialogue, highlighted in red and blue text. Write a dialogue. Students are now ready to work with a partner to write a dialogue based on their daily lives, and then perform it to other classmates, to their teacher, or to the whole class. You should remind them to integrate the golden rules and at least one of the strategies outlined in the Sounding Natural section. Translations of the explanations of the golden rules and strategies are available on the website. Review. Getting students to review key sentences between classes is vital to their progress, but not always easy to do. The review summary sheet contains the list of sentences that students have learned in the Point 1 and Point 2 toolboxes. Used together, the review summary sheet of the previous lesson and the preview summary sheet of the next lesson are powerful tools to encourage students to do some meaningful study between classes. To motivate students to use these sheets, a simple technique is to give a short written test at the beginning of each class. This can be done in a few minutes. To help teachers run these tests, the translations of all of the content of both preview and review sheets are followed by the Romaji equivalent on the teacher's site. We are looking forward to receiving your feedback.